Many people watch anime and movies so that they can escape from reality, so that they can find some happiness in the world of fiction, which forces us to think and cry. Sometimes those movies show us the reality that we were unaware of. So today, we are going to talk about anime's top 10 saddest movies, which you should watch at least once in your life. And I can promise you that you can't watch the movie, which is at number 1, without crying. Number 10, The Garden of Words. The Garden of Words is about a 15-year-old boy whose dream is to make him into shoes. He used to skip school every time and go to a garden to draw. And there he meets a mysterious woman. And this is how they used to meet each other. Every time, Takao used to feel something different with her, something that he has never felt before. Now he himself didn't know if it was love or something else. But looking at their age gap, he never had the courage to confess. Because he was 15 years old and she was 27 years old. She knew that society would never accept them. This story is very beautiful. So will Takao ever be able to confess to her? And will she accept his offer? For this, you have to watch this movie. And even if we remove the story, its animation will force you to watch this movie. Number 9, Anthem of the Heart. This story is about June, who is a girl who loves to talk. And in those talks, she tells her mom that she saw her dad with another girl. After which, her mom and dad get divorced, and everyone makes her feel that it's all her fault. So a fairy egg, which was her own imagination, gives her this debt that she will never be able to talk again, because she hurts people with her words. And even if it happens, it becomes a trauma for her, and she stops talking. But in high school, she realizes that she can express her feelings through singing. And there are many heart-touching songs in this. Number 8, Hotaru B. no Mori. This story is about a 6-year-old girl named Hotaru. One day, she gets lost in the jungle and meets Gin there. Actually, Gin's parents left her in the jungle as a child, and there is a curse on her that if anyone touches her, she will die. And Hotaru was the first person she met. Gradually, Hotaru grows up. With time, she falls in love with Hotaru, and she had a dream that she could hug him. But she also knows that if this happens, he will be killed. Number 7, Doraemon Stand By Me. Although I know that you all must have definitely seen this movie. This movie is made by compiling all the episodes of Doraemon. And if you don't want to cry after watching the ending, then I don't think you are a Doraemon fan. Number 6, Perfect Blue. All the movies I have told you so far are completely different from these. A little too dark. This story is about Mima, who is a pop idol, and she decides to stop singing because she wanted to become an actress. Because of this, she has to face many stalkers. And the dark reality of the film industry is also shown in this, how an innocent girl is forced to do such scenes which is completely opposite to her personality. And if she doesn't do this, then no one in the film industry will give her work. And after this, her own innocent version starts haunting her. That how she sold her character for fame, and she gets so depressed that she doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. And she kills those people one by one who pushed her into this swamp, and she doesn't even realize that she is doing all this. And its ending is very mysterious, because in the end, we ourselves don't know what is reality and what is fantasy. One day, Taki and Mitsuha's bodies suddenly change, so they didn't have any other option but to live their lives. This happens repeatedly and many times, so Taki decides to meet Mitsuha, but he goes to his village and finds out that that village has been destroyed 3 years ago because of a meteorite. But how did this happen? Because their bodies had changed a few days ago. So has Mitsuha died? And will he ever meet her again? Sakura has a disease due to which she will die within a year. So she starts doing all the things that she was supposed to do in her life. So she chooses Haruki for this, because Sakura didn't want to tell her friends that she is going to die after a year. Otherwise, people would have treated her differently. But Haruki was unknown to her. And while living with her, both of them fall in love with each other. While watching the movie, you will feel that what will happen the most? She will die after a year. But there is something in this that may traumatize you, because I haven't come out of that trauma yet. And one more fun fact about this movie. Sakura means cherry blossom, and Haruki means spring. So their names also indicate that they were made for each other. This movie is the closest to reality. If I don't call it an anime movie, but an average human's biography, then it will be more correct. This story is about in their childhood, Takaki and Akari were such good friends that people used to make fun of them for being in a relationship, and they used to like each other, but due to family problems, Takaki had to leave the city, but he promises that their friendship will never end. In the beginning, they used to write letters to each other, but gradually, they stopped writing letters and meeting each other. This is exactly like how we used to tell our friends in our childhood that we will never be apart, and we will meet even after school. But this never happens. This story is divided into 3 parts, and in all 3 parts, there are different girls. But Takaki still couldn't move on from it, and because of that, he doesn't give a chance to the girl who used to love him at that time. This movie teaches us how we should move on in life, and how things don't always stay the way they used to be. Everything changes with time. Soya was a bad boy. He didn't care what others thought about him. He enjoyed troubling others. One day, a girl was transferred to his class who couldn't hear or speak, and Soya was happy that she found another victim. Soya tried to befriend him, but he used to bully her all the time, and one day, he crosses all the limits. I don't know how, but that day, he realizes his mistake. He realizes that what he did was not right, so he decides that he will apologize to her the next day. But she had left because of Soya, and after hearing this, he was broken inside. He could never forgive himself, and many times, he even tried to commit suicide. Because he forced a girl to leave school, he could never get out of that guilt. That guilt was eating him from inside. But many years later, he meets that girl again, and he tries his best to make her life better. So I would say that you should watch this movie at least once. I have told you in all my previous movies that you should watch this movie at least once. But I am not recommending it. Watch this movie only if you are mentally strong, because if you get emotional over small things, then this movie is not for you. And it doesn't matter how mentally strong you are, because this movie will make you cry in the end. This story is about 2 brothers and sisters who are at war in their country, and in front of their eyes, their families are dying. So initially, they stay with their aunts. But because of their tantrums, they have to leave. And both of them start living their lives together. Now, they can do everything that their aunts used to stop them from doing, like playing, shouting, or eating more. In the beginning, everything goes very smoothly. But later on, you can see how cruel their life can be. And we watch the movie hoping that something good will happen. How cruel their life can be. And we watch the movie hoping that something good will happen. But the situation gets worse. And we are told how cruel people and life can be. This was a random list. It's not like the number 1 movie is the best, and the number 10 movie is the worst. All these movies are equally good. And if you have watched any of these movies, then you can comment and tell us. And also, why do you like them?